Good afternoon, everyone. My name's John Katz. I'm a first-year MBA student at MIT Sloan, and welcome to our first ever trade show business competition. Over the next 60 minutes, our 12 exciting sports startups exhibiting at this year's conference will square off to demonstrate their exciting products and services to our expert panel of judges and you, the audience. At stake is a $3,500 cash prize and bragging rights to be named as the most promising startup at the 2012 MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference. In terms of how this will work, there we go. So it's going to be conducted in a PTI-type format. Each company is going to be allotted 4 good minutes to present, and they're going to explain their business models and how they're revolutionizing the sports industry. Our panel of judges will interject with questions either during or after, and after 4 minutes, a bell will sound, and we'll move on to the next company. In terms of scoring, each judge is going to vote for first, second, and third place. We'll have a point system based on that, and then you, the audience, can vote by texting 37048. Just text vote and the company name to that number, and pick your top choice. In the event of a tie, the cash prize is going to go to the company with the highest audience total. And in terms of our judges panel, at first I'd like to introduce Bill Aulette. Bill is the Managing Director of the Trust Center for MIT Entrepreneurship and a Senior Lecturer at the MIT Sloan School of Management. Second is Neil Glatt. Neil's the NFL Senior Vice President of Corporate Development. And third is Jim Quagliaroli, a Managing Director at Spectrum Equity, a private equity firm here in Boston. So with that as the backdrop, I'd like to kick it off to our companies for their 4 good minutes presentations. Leading us off will be Edge 10.
Hello, everyone. I'll get to test this first. I hope it doesn't eat into my 4 minutes. Here we go. Edge 10 are a company based in the UK. We are dedicated to providing sports performance systems to bring together the hub of what goes on into sports development. That is performance administration, talent ID, injury reduction, and optimizing efficiency. Current people we are working with, we pride ourselves in having a very, very high stable of companies we work with, including Arsenal Football Club, Leicester Tigers, and the Red Bull company as well in certain ways. Edge 10 works. It's a cloud-based computer system which brings together all of the performance factors and influences into athletic development, bringing together all the coaching staff, the players themselves, the athletes, and then third-party data, most importantly, bringing in all the data that the other people we're paneling today are going to be producing, GPS, Prozone data, stats data, bringing that all into the one system so we can look at it globally and holistically, making basically 2 and 2 add 5. Some of the functionality we deliver, we cover medicine, sports performance, planning, administration, anti-doping, and through the gateway, we have a very, very good interaction with all of our athletes, enabling them to communicate with the system via smartphones, iPads, and the internet. A couple of key points. The system is a web-based system, but most importantly, designed to work offline. That way that coaches and medical staff can actually get a lot of their work done whilst traveling where there might not be internet access or the web, so they can make a lot of use of the downtime and try and pour some of that time back that they spend so much working with the players and entering data. So rather than talk, let's move on. So here's the home screen, a way of consolidating all that information, action and data at my fingertips, tell me what's happening with my squad, what problems they've got. All of this is permissionable. I can run this across my entire team, not worry about regulation and things like that. Periodization, very, very important to plan and actually in one area bring in all of the factors that are going into this through coaching, through GPS, through heart rate, through injury, through self-monitoring. We can review it, plan, and move forward. Performance-based analytics, watching the clock profusely here. Performance-based analytics, we've got a lot of great tools where we can import data, no double entry of data, bringing all your systems together, building charts and trending real-time dynamically, interfacing, running video, bringing all of that into one system. Likewise with the athlete portal, lots of different questionnaires can be put out towards the players, targeted to different groups and through different stages of their development as well. Finally, gym sessions, a new addition, looking at what actual targets we're pushing out to the athletes and what's coming back so we can get total load, and again, keep an eye on that all-important load versus injury factor. Some more screenshots here, more of a medical side, full-blown medical application built in there. I'd like to say world's best, but there I would. And finally, ongoing development, constantly reviewing and developing the product to make use of the current technologies, and most importantly, fit in with the problems that day-to-day practitioners have within working in the high-pressure elite sports area. So where the stakes are this high, there's no room for chances, and that's why H10 is around.
Someone want to go? Yeah. Next question.
Losing some time here. Hi, I'm Dave Ickey from MC10. We're a startup based in Cambridge, and our mission is to reshape electronics to advance the quality of life. So we're using computer chips in novel ways, and I'll try to describe that. If you look at wearable electronics, Moore's law has helped miniaturize and drive performance up in all kinds of computer chips, but we still end up with small, rigid, boxy devices that we somehow try to strap to our bodies. Lots of different uses for electronics on the body, performance enhancement, injury prevention, even measuring wellness and health of chronic health conditions eventually. But miniaturization is not enough. You got to do more than that. And what we're really trying to do is help people optimize the probability of success, which means increasing intensity, but not to the point of having injury. So you want to be in a performance envelope where you're getting great performance, but not overdoing it. And instrumenting the body, being able to quantify what's happening to the body allows that type of performance enhancement. And really, that's one of our key objectives here at MC10. So if you think about getting information off the body, there's an awful lot of interest in wireless health, mobile health, the quantified self. A lot of people are working on wireless connectivity. A lot of people are working on software solutions, which are data analytics. Very few are working on what we call seamless sensing. So trying to take clunky devices and make them thin and conformal in a brand new format. And what I'll describe to you is what seamless sensing is all about and what it enables. So there are a couple different pieces of the solution. I'll take you through just a few of them today. But the idea is to have a thin, conformal, integrated system solution that allows high-quality information to be monitored on the body in a way that's not noticeable to the user. Our company mission is to reshape electronics. You know, computer chips are rigid, brittle, and planar. Human being and soft tissue is not. So in order to interface with the natural world, we have to break free from rigid plastic packages that are part of devices today. And our technology has been well vetted in technical journals. It's been gotten into the popular press quite a bit. The technology itself is really about thin silicon, stretchable interconnects that are spring-like, interfacing them with very thin polymers so that you end up with a thin sticker that can go on the body and measure body function, much like an artificial tattoo. You know, tattoo is very thin, conforms to the skin, could be as thin as 7 microns. And in this particular example, you know, which I'm holding in my hand, is about 2 square centimeters. We're able to measure ECG, EEG information from the heart, from muscle, temperature sensors, strain sensors for motion. It's powered and it can transmit data wirelessly. So it gives you an example of the types of things we can do. There are a variety of different vital signs that can be measured. I won't go into all of them here, but we can take any solid state device and package it in a really unique way that allows you to put it directly on the skin or put it into apparel, footwear, or equipment for monitoring athletes, warfighters, and the general population. So we think we can help make body computing ubiquitous by seamless sensing that's high quality, that's low cost, and that's invisible to the user. And we're really working with partners to deploy that. Our business model is a lot like a chip company where we're selling conformal IC arrays into OEMs like Reebok and others. So thanks for your time.
So I guess we ask questions at the end. John, when do we ask questions? After all the presentation? Okay.
Good morning, or good afternoon now. My name is Danny Turley, and I am the CEO of Performer Sports. Performer Sports is a powerful, easy to use, real-time sports performance analysis application developed initially for the Apple iPad. The application is designed for analysts, coaches, and players to analyze and improve their performances. This is quite an amazing statistic. Not even with special training, we can only recall 30% of our key performance factors. With a real-time tracking application such as Performer Sports, we can help those decision makers on the line make better informed and quicker decisions that will ultimately help their team gain the advantage over their competition. In our passion for sport, we all share a common goal: to be the very best. Here you can see a group of winners who are at the top of their game. There are crucial ingredients that are involved in the makeup of a winner. We call this the winning combination. We believe that performance analysis is a crucial part of this success. Without analyzing and learning from your performances, these individuals and teams would not be the winners they are today. Performer Sports brings a new dimension to the sports performance analysis industry. We deliver a mobile, intuitive touchscreen experience to the global sports market. We cater for multiple sports, multiple territories, and multiple markets. Our fresh approach is breaking down existing barriers by bringing an affordable and scalable business model to the sports analysis industry, therefore allowing our technology to be accessible at any level within the sport. You can record your data through our intuitive touchscreen interface. At any time during a live game, you can access the analytical data and you can look at the bar graphs and the statistics to help inform you of the next tactical move you need to make to improve your team's performance. How we believe we can revolutionize the sporting industry is by removing the pain and time involved in creating video analysis. I used to take me up to about 18-20 hours to analyze a single game. Now I can do it live, and just removes that need to do your post-game analysis. By using the power of video along with statistical analysis through Performance Sports, we can facilitate the effective and visual learning between the coach and the athlete, whether they're showing the application to a large group for a projector or to the individual on the training ground. To give that personal one-to-one feedback that is so crucial in developing the performance of our players, Performer Sports can really work at any level. We are happy to announce exclusively in Boston that you can now download the app for free from the App Store today and start your free trial. We are delighted to be here at such a high-profile event, and we are happy to talk to anyone after this if you have any questions. And just, we are the lads from Ireland, and thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Can you just describe briefly the go-to-market strategy, what you think is going to be most effective from a sales perspective? How are you going to sell this?
Sell this. Now it's totally accessible. You can now download the app, start using it on your iPad, get to use it, but we want to target anyone at any level of sport. There's an elite grade, there's grassroots level. We want to remove those barriers, those learning curves, and using sophisticated software technology. Ours is very simple and very easy, user-friendly to use.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ronen from Replay Technology, and our contribution to humanity will be by eliminating all the sky cams, the dollies, the fisheyes, and replacing them by 3D reconstruction, which is basically a 3D model of the field of view from which you can create any angle you'd like to see. Half of our development team comes from the security industry, computer vision, and people building stuff like drones. The other half of our group are CGI people that are turning this information into like cool images of the information. At the end of the day, we're going to have sort of, to visualize it, it's a virtual camera flying around the field of play, directed from the editing room, and showing you angles that you can't see from cameras. This is very important to emphasize. We don't build cameras, the story is software. We're using the broadcaster's cameras or any other cameras that are in the stadium. What we do, we place cameras around the field of vision. We get the different views, and if you can see, every view turns into a cloud of pixels, a cloud of points, and we know the depth of every point, and that's how we build the system. And now you can see how they get immersed into a perfect real-life view of the athlete. What can be done with it? You could get any, as I said, any angle of vision. This could be either in stills or later in the year it will be in motion. A flying camera around an athlete in motion, something that obviously cannot be done in realistic life. A movie like Matrix, which cost $130 million to make, would become very cheap at the level of maybe a student film at the university. But we're here to speak about sport. So you'll get stuff like a gymnast at the Olympics. You could even see how she sees things from her own eyes. What a quarterback sees from his eyes is, of course, important for all the analysis of a game, or what the receiver sees from his eyes, or very importantly, what the referee sees from his eyes. Of course, we have a lot of analysis. We know the speed of distance, speed and distance and position, because if we didn't know that, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. In the future, you know, down the road, you could even pull images from real life. Nadal played a fantastic shot. You could play it back on a video game and try and compete against him. So yes, we think this will change broadcasting dramatically from two perspectives. What we will be able to see is things we didn't do before, and the other thing are the costs, because we will be eliminating an enormous amount of equipment. And thank you for your time, and you may have time for a question.
And near term, you probably want to do business with sports broadcasters and potentially even film producers, you were saying?
Those are exactly the people we're speaking to.
Oh.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Greg Jacobs. I'm the founder of West Shore Technologies. We make a product line called SportsBoard. And what our product consists of is an iPad-based application for assessing players' abilities, skills, from the pro level all the way down to youth levels. We've got products that address basketball, soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball, volleyball, field hockey, and rugby. The key ingredient to our product is that we're leveraging the iPad technology, which is on fire. in terms of adoption at all levels of sports, and server cloud technology. So what we're doing is we've got an app on the iPad that stores data on the iPad. It does not require a real-time connection to the internet, to the server to actually work. Asynchronous data communication between the iPad and the cloud. And on the cloud is where we have our server, where we're running analytics engines against the assessment data that the scouts, coaches, whatever you call them at all levels, are picking up while they're observing the athletes competing or at showcases. And ultimately what we're doing is giving them an analytical capability to organize all the data that they see on every player whenever they see the player, compute composite ratings, and ultimately rank the players they're seeing so that they can formulate, if you're a pro team, reasonable draft strategies. If you're a college team, reasonable recruiting strategies. And ultimately be accountable for the dollars they're paying to either pro athletes, which is millions, or college athletes on full scholarships, which is also millions. So the benefits of the product, it's hard to see from here, would be that you're streamlining what is now a paper-driven process. So a lot of these coaches are going out in the field with clipboards or laptops or whatever. It's either paper-driven or it's computerized, but the form factor of laptops doesn't work very well. So what we've done is we've used the form factor of the iPad to, in essence, replace what would be a clipboard or an iPad. They can rate all the players, completely digitize their process, and streamline the sharing and decision-making processes around the data they're collecting. I've probably covered a lot of this stuff already. I've left a minute and a half for questions because I would love to take questions. Go-to-market strategy for us is we're going after college first. 2,000 colleges in the US. They all play at least 6 of the sports we address. It's the best market because there's a market where there's money and there's a market where there's credibility. We don't envision pro teams using our off-the-shelf product as is. We envision the platform we've created for college as being a baseline for customizing to pro-specific functional needs. Again, the asynchronous communication between the iPad and the server is a platform from which we can really do some neat things for pro teams. But most importantly, there's 55 million athletes in North America between, well, athletes and coaches. So at the high school and club level, where you can drop this down at reasonable price, tremendous opportunity.
Can you describe the pricing model?
Pricing model is, for college, we've got 3 plans, bronze, silver, and gold. At the college D1 level, it's $300 per user per year, so this is a subscription model just like Salesforce.com. Bronze is $300, silver is $600, gold is $1,200. We have that's D1 college, D2, D3, NAI, and club is discounted off of that, and high school and club is further discounted off of that.
Do you have any customers today?
We have 25 customers already, all colleges, mostly D1. Product launched January 10th, 6 weeks ago.
And how long is the setup for a customer?
10 minutes.
Well done.
Hey guys, I'm Jeremy. I'm the founder of StarStreet. I'm going to try to make this really quick and leave some time for questions. So StarStreet, we do real money fantasy games. We've got 2 games. One is a sports stock market, but I'm going to focus on the new one, which we actually just launched just about 2 days ago. Sorry. Can you guys hear that? Or? Okay, so we just launched a new real money head-to-head fantasy game 2 days ago, so I'm going to focus on that. But for anyone who has an iPad or laptop, please stop paying attention to me. Go to starstreet.com/VIP. You'll get $10 free, enter a game. Whoever has the most points at the end of the night is going to win $100, and we'll give it to you tomorrow. So the game's really simple. You get a $100,000 budget. You are building a lineup for a night, and then you enter contests. So you want to score the most fantasy points. You can enter, say, a $50 contest to win $100. And then you get matched up with an opponent, head-to-head. Whoever scores the most fantasy points wins. Totally live scoring, thanks to our friends at Sports Data who's sharing a table with us. That's the game. The other one is a sports stock market. Players' values are based on their fantasy points. It's all person-to-person trading, all real money. I'll let you guys check it out if you're interested. Most importantly, we've got a really great team, great tech team, And we've got some great investors, including SV Angel, Ron Conway's firm Techstars, Merrill Lynch's ex-head of electronic and global trading, Goldman Sachs head of trading product, and we're also an officially licensed product of the NFL Players Association. So that's about it. I'd love to have you guys play the game, love to hear your thoughts. Please text VOTE to the number it says there. I'll give you guys all a football and a t-shirt if you come find me at our booth later. And we've got 2 minutes for questions.
Legal.
It's a game of skill and not chance that does not depend on a single end outcome or result. There's a lot of precedent in skill gaming that we're following. We've got an opinion from one of the top attorneys in the space.
Is the intent to license this platform to some Vegas entities, or are you going to ultimately try to compete with them
To a Vegas entity?
who have the same idea?
It is a possibility, but what they do is right now only legal in Vegas. Ours is legal everywhere in America except 6 states. So it is definitely a possibility, but that's not our immediate plan.
How's the money changing hands?
So we take in money through credit card or PayPal. We send out money when people withdraw instantly, no fees through checks or PayPal. And on the site, it works very much like an E-Trade account. You put money into your account, you can trade with that money. Whatever money is in your account, free funds is your money. You can withdraw whenever you want. So all person to person, it's all instant.
How many users do you have today?
So we
On the
just
sports one.
right around 1,000 real money traders right now.
How many do you have on the other one?
On the daily fantasy game, we just launched it 2 days ago, and we've more than doubled since Tuesday. We've got about 500 games a night being played right now.
So what's the average time a user spends on your site?
It very much varies. We have some who spend up to 2 hours a day on the site. We see about 25% of our users active every single day. And I don't know the exact number for average minutes a user spends.
Is this a one-to-one interaction, or is there a Facebook applicability where
The site is
what's the
Facebook
social
connected.
strategy?
The site is Facebook connected, and we're going to do a lot more with the new Facebook timeline, Open Graph, the stuff you guys see Spotify using all the time, where you see your friends listen to music. We'll plug in with that, so you see your friend just bought a share of Tom Brady. You'll see your friend entered a head-to-head game, and you can go and match him up. We've got a lot of the social aspects coming.
How much do you think it costs to acquire a new customer right now?
So we've baselined that cost at around $12.
$12.
Which is, we make more than that back.
What's the
within
lifetime
first
value
year.
of the customer?
We don't have a strict lifetime value because we have been around for just about a year, but we're making in the stock market, we're making about $15 per trader per year, and the daily game's way bigger than that. Great, thank you. Come get football, squeeze love.
I'm Jason Rosenfeld from CEO of StatDNA. We like to think of ourselves as the world's most advanced soccer data and analytics company. And basically, some of the concepts you saw in the last presentation about valuing players in the stock market, we're trying to do the same thing in real life by collecting data on players' performance, using techniques that have been successful in other sports to understand, which players are undervalued and help teams find them. So this is just a short text outline. Basically, soccer teams spend tons of money on player acquisitions. There are transactions that are in excess of $100 million. And in a typical transaction of that size in business context, you do a lot of data due diligence, and soccer teams really don't do much of any. Why is that? It's partially because the data that's available currently isn't that useful in terms of valuing players. So that's where we've stepped in. We're collecting all of our own data and using the techniques that have proven valuable in other sports to value the player's performance. So basically, we're offering that to professional teams as a service, a consulting service to help them, make more efficient their spend. Why is it that the data that it currently is collected isn't that useful? Basically, a lot of the data that's collected in soccer is quantity-based. So you can know how many times a person does something, but not how well it's been done. That's what we're trying to remedy. Basically, we're collecting each game, a person manually collects data for 25 hours. It's all very objective. And in our database, we have 60 million pieces of manually collected data right now on the top European soccer leagues. There's nothing like it. From that, we can then apply the models on it. So we feel we have a differential ability to actually value the players because of the data we do collect.
There's 60 million pieces of discrete data.
Like if you had an Excel spreadsheet, 60 million cells would be filled in.
Representing how many players?
Representing, that's a good question, probably several thousand, like 2,000 to 3,000.
And how far back in terms
That's one of our things that we're working on. It's right now we have the most we have on any one league is 3 years, and it's quite important to work back. Faran Zahidi, which many of you would have heard of, works for the A's. He commented to a newspaper about soccer that the holy grail of soccer statistics would be goal probability added, which measures the contribution that every player makes towards his team scoring goals. That's something we already produce. It's something we'll improve over time, but it's something we have today. This is just an example of that statistic. We didn't kind of give away everything we have by putting up the full database or anything like that, but this is just a sample from the English Premier League last year. Wayne Rooney was the top passing value creator. He contributed about 4 goals above a replacement player just from his passing. So this is a statistic just like VORP in baseball. What we can do then is if we take passing and all of the aspects of the game, add them all up, we can have a measure for each player, and then we can put their value up on a graph, like the one you see here, and see who's under and over the line in terms of value. And of course, we're gonna look for the players that are undervalued. And this just kind of summarizes what I was just saying about what our competitive advantages are. We collect our own data, and we, basically apply techniques that we know are valid for this type of work.
And you have customers now?
Yes, we do. We're serving several professional teams.
Hi there, thanks. My name is David Tierson, and I'm the founder of Stattleship.com. Stattleship is a new kind of online sports game that fans play online at Stattleship.com. It's a game about arguing about sports, and there's no better way to defend your argument than through stats. So we've designed games where fans compete against each other to guess the outcome of player stats. With each game they play, they try to become the most accurate fan for their favorite players, teams, or on Stattleship overall. So when people ask me, what does Stattleship do? Well, we write stats games for sports fans to play. We're a 5-month-old startup based right here in Boston. We began work on October 4th, and already we've run a little over 100 games, 135 actually as of this morning. And this conference is our big milestone launch where we're showing everybody what we've done. Since then, we've rolled out stats games for every major US league, football, basketball, hockey. We just did Major League Baseball this week. We love stats. We think stats should be shared and open. So we have this feature called a stat board where you can see how many games we've scored, how players are doing, how many guesses they've done. And we've done around 8,500 guesses this morning. Our latest feature we're calling cross-league play. Really, it's a way of having dynamic stats games about any player for a team over a league over a period of time. And we're excited about this because this is what's going to evolve into business sponsorships, we feel. So I've talked about, sorry about that. So I've talked about what, I mentioned this thing called a stats game quite a bit. Let's take a look at one. This is one that we did for the New York Knicks and Mavericks on February 19th. Sometimes we go pretty serious. This is a little bit of one of our lighter moments because we like to change it up. It's a simple game. We write current, compelling, statistic-backed storylines, and you guess whether or not you think the stat will happen. When the game ends, we get the box score from one of the data providers. We score you. If you're right or wrong, we show you your stat to prove it. And then we rate your accuracy, like a batting average, and rank you on various micro leaderboards, so over team or overall Stattleship overall. So why do fans play our stat games? Well, we're a mashup between fan expectations and traditional media. We have some distinct differentiating points and advantages. We're inherently social. We can respond quickly and adapt to events and trends. We're creative. We can be fun. We can be serious. And our games are repeatable, but not formulaic. And you have to face it, stats have a bit of a stigma to them. They're math. They're kind of geeky. And, but if you listen to the way fans talk, they talk about stats all the time. It's very natural to them. So we want to give the sports community a game that feels like you're sitting at a bar or talking with your friends out at work. So that's that. We're going to keep making stat games, and we're going to make great ones. Right now, we're really focusing on the pre-game phase of the overall sports event. But we're going to apply game dynamics to the other phases. But where we really think we're going to have some value is in the fanalytics phase. Because through a game, we're capturing a lot of valuable data points about loyalty and behavior for sports fans that I think will be exciting to people.
In the principal value proposition for the consumer is social currency, he or she's not winning anything tangible, it's just online reputation.
Correct. It's a game that's for casual sports fans. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's a very simple move. Yes, no, right, wrong. You can do it once a day, you can do 10 times a day. You can play a couple games a week. But you're going to, since you're ranked on leaderboards, there's a compelling and competitive nature to fans who want to be better than someone else. So that's an impetus for them to play.
And what sponsors care about this data the most?
Which sponsors? I think we can make a great case for teams to track their players. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stattleship, I like that name.
Yeah, it is a good name.
All right, hello everyone, hello judges. My name is Tom Federico. I'm the co-founder of TeamRankings.com. Oh, and I need this. So, TeamRankings.com, the hypothesis of our business is that the sports fan is evolving. So compared to 20 years ago specifically, people are more data hungry, they're more competitive, and they're more sophisticated in their approach to sports. We can see this manifest itself in a number of ways. I think the most important one is the fact that 2,000 of you are sitting at a conference in March in Boston about sports stats. And this could have never happened 20, 10, even 5 years ago. So from a business perspective, we really looked at this and said, what's the opportunity here related to the future of sports media? And we think there's a big opportunity because as we kind of looked at how the landscape was changing, we realized that the competencies required to impress this emerging generation of sports fans and give them compelling content that they're going to be interested in are really different than the competencies that traditional media and sports media companies have. So writing and telling stories is always going to be important, but for this emerging class of data-hungry fans, analysis skills, data skills, programming skills are going to be the foundational values, if you will, of producing really, really exciting content that these groups of fans are going to consume. This company looks more like a technology company than a media company, and we've taken that approach in building our business. So here's an example of some of the content we produce. This is a visualization of our proprietary round-by-round NCAA tournament survival odds. They've been calculated from sophisticated mathematical prediction models that we've been building and refining for several years. And I brought it up as an example to show you how in just a second or two, a reader, viewer can look at this information. You'll see it's small on the screen. There are teams listed across the horizontal axis and rounds of the tournament on the vertical axis. If you look at the bottom of the screen where the little dots are, those are teams' odds to win the NCAA tournament championship. I can quickly see which teams are favored. The second row there are teams' odds to make the Sweet 16. I can quickly see who's going to make it, and also things like what conference is most likely to send the most teams to the Sweet 16. So why is all this important? A traditional media company could never do this. It's based on detailed statistical data and presented in a way that required a lot of technical proficiency to do, and the information is very actionable. I can use this to build a better bracket, make better bets, settle arguments with my friends. The main thing also is that we're growing a strong audience around this type of content, and the market's showing that they like it. This is a graph of our traffic over the past 30 months. We've doubled our page views over the last year to a peak in terms of visitorship of our site of 1.4 million unique users in March 2011 of last year. But more importantly, people are taking their credit cards out of their wallets and actually paying for what we're providing. In the past 2 years, we've had over 6,000 paying subscribers sign up for our site. at subscription rates of between $15 to $400 for a given season. And we've also developed strong licensing relationship with the likes of ESPN. So unlike a typical media company, we're a technology company developing powerful IP that's going to have value far into the future. Thank you.
Question.
20 seconds.
Tom, large range in the subscription value, is that just based on the content they're accessing?
It's
What's
based on
specific?
bettors being price insensitive and casual fans being less price insensitive. So we have a range of different products. A lot of them are to help people make better bets. A lot of them are just to help you build a better March Madness bracket. And those are at different price points.
Thank you.
$119,644,273. That's how much money Taco Bell spent in 1 year on sports advertising. $119 million spent in 1 year. Sounds like a lot, but to be fair, Taco Bell is the official quick service restaurant sponsor of Major League Baseball and the NBA. So it's obviously must be money well spent, right? Let me give you another number. 15.1%. 15.1% is the amount of casual NBA fans that actually know that Taco Bell is the official sponsor of the NBA. Worse yet, only 30% of those fans actually said they would act on it. That means Taco Bell spends over $100 million a year in sports marketing, and it results in only 4.5% of fans who actually go to the store and buy a taco. Please, don't think I'm just picking on Taco Bell in this example. I could have used a whole host of other companies to make this point. Anheuser-Busch, State Farm, Chevrolet, Bank of America, and on and on and on. All the same story. Now, the really crazy part about all this is that most people would tell you that the numbers that I'm showing you are actually a good thing. Spend an obscene amount of money, get 15% brand awareness, and we're supposed to believe that's a good thing? Well, that's bullshit. Pardon my language, but frankly, there's just no nicer way to say it. The good news, though, is that it can be better, and we're here to make it better. The War Room connects these same corporate sponsors directly with individual fantasy sports leagues. We're creating a platform that allows the over 40 million fantasy players around the world to earn unique rewards just for supporting their sponsors. Rewards that can range from a championship trophy to a trip to Las Vegas for you and your fantasy league. Now let's go back to that Taco Bell example for a second. See how this actually plays out in real life. Let's say next year Taco Bell decides to sponsor 50,000 leagues through the War Room. As an official fantasy league sponsor, Taco Bell gets exclusive advertising that's customized and targeted for each league. Better yet, they get a fantasy rewards program that directly incentivizes each league member to spend money at Taco Bell. In this example, that's somewhere between 300 and 500,000 customers being motivated in a very unique way to spend money at Taco Bell every single day. Now, the best part about this fantasy rewards program is that everybody's aligned on the same goal. The sponsor wants the customer to spend as much money as possible, obviously to maximize revenue. The customer wants to spend as much money as possible to earn the best rewards. And we, the War Room, want the customer to spend as much money as possible because we earn a percentage on all the revenue we generate for the sponsors.
What are the rewards? Something in the fantasy game?
You know, it could be anything. It's not the typical buy 10 subs, you'll get a free sub. It's things related to fantasy that fantasy players would care about. So like I say, a trip to Vegas for your fantasy draft party, a fantasy league trophy, maybe tickets to your favorite game. So now you may be saying to yourself, why do these guys actually think they can make this work? Why are they any different than anybody else? Well, we are different. And the reason we're different is because we are the customers we're going after. We understand what they really want to see. We get it. That's why we're building a comprehensive sports platform that provides users with the content and services they actually want to see. And that's why we're building a fantasy rewards program with unique packages that our users will actually want to earn. Because it may sound dramatic, but it's important to understand in the fantasy sports world, it's not just a hobby. It's not just a way to pass the time. They're a passion. They're an obsession. For those of you in this room who've ever lost a fantasy title on the last play of a Monday night game and know that feeling of having your heart completely ripped out of your chest, you get it. And for those of you who've ever won a title and know that feeling of complete joy and ecstasy that comes along with it, you get it. Well, now it's time for those corporate sponsors to get it. The War Room allows you to tap into those emotions and share those experiences with your customers. We allow you to tie your brand directly to the passion and fire that comes with fantasy sports. You want to talk about brand awareness and ROI? Imagine being the sponsor that sends a fantasy league to Vegas to celebrate the end of their season. You can bet your ass you're going to get better than 15% brand awareness.
Thank you.
How many more we have? Two?
Hi. My name is Nick Goggins, CEO, co-founder of Umble. Umble is a socially driven audience measurement company. This past summer, Forrester released a report, which was kind of interesting. In that report, it said that for the first time, consumers spent more time in a given day on the internet than television. Around the same time was another report from Mary Meeker, who some of you may know used to be the media analyst at Morgan Stanley, now at Kleiner Perkins. Mary analyzed and saw a discrepancy between the media time spent by consumers, which is increasingly in the digital environment, and advertising money spent. She predicted the discrepancy at a $20 billion market. We looked at that and said, why aren't the ad dollars following the eyeballs in this case? We think it's a measurement issue. And we think it's really a paradigm clash between traditional market research, your Nielsen's, your Arbitrons, also with your analytics, your ComScores, your Quantcast. And basically analytics has had the problem of having too much data, while market research has never had enough data. We want to come in the middle and bring these two sides together, also leverage that with a lot of the social data that's available now into one piece. And to that end, we've also, one of our first relationships is with Arbitron, I should say. And so the goal of all of this is to increase the ability to understand your audience, find sponsorship opportunities, and have good data for your inside sales teams to help leverage these relationships. And I'd like to start with a case study with the Boston Bruins. So where this all starts, as you can see on the page, is we start with social connections. And so when a fan comes onto the page and connects with Facebook, right there we connect, and we can basically process this data on an individual basis, get the social graph plus demographics that we also go against about 30 other different data sources, process it, give it back to the Bruins. In addition to the individual fan, we also get the second-degree network of their friends. So you can start to analyze demographics and interest graphs on that, which can also be a potential market. What we do with this data in the product is we have three areas: a discover area, which lets you play in the social graph, an analysis area, which you can start to back that data up and publish to send a report. So for example, you can find the favorite car for the Bruins is Toyota. Here's demographic data that supports the case, and now let's send it off to the Toyota rep. In addition to having the qualitative data, we also have the ability to pull in the quantitative data, and we can aggregate that. So we can start to get together for the first time, for example, multiple Google Analytics accounts, bring in your mobile app data, and we can also use those quantitative metrics to segment. So you could do something like show me mobile video players and show me the demographics on those people. You can also aggregate it up. So if, for example, we had all the NHL teams, we could start to bundle that into different divisions, or show me big market versus small market, or Canada versus US. At the end of the day, I think what we're talking about here is media saver metrics, and what I mean by that is there is a new media reality. It needs new metrics. It has to carry philosophies from the old ways of doing things, but with a slight update, and that's what we hope to do, is bring the data together with the traditional sales magic. Thank you.
What customers do you have today?
Right now, so we're going to start a year. Right now, Arbitron, Fox News. We're starting with the Boston Bruins. We also have engagement with Sketch, which is a startup that's processing half the audience of South by Southwest. So we're going to use that data later for. And we also have a political campaign of a presidential nature. I can't tell you who.
Thank you.
They'll bring a lot of data.
Afternoon, everybody. I'm Steve Fabregas. I'm a research scientist with Zio Incorporated. So Zio is a company that, we're a sleep management company. So what that means is we help you not only measure the quantity and quality of your sleep, but we can actually provide context and analytics around that sleep, and then we can tell you what to do about it to improve performance and not only get a better night's sleep, but make your life better. We know that sleep is important for a lot of reasons. It starts in the brain. It affects things like mood, memory, reaction times, attention. Deep sleep is when the most human growth hormone is released. It improves recovery. It's vital for everything that we do, and we know that getting better sleep is going to improve your game in unbelievable ways. If you improve your sleep quality, you're going to be running faster, you're going to be able to lift more weights, you're going to just improve your game across the board. In terms of how is this technology going to revolutionize what's happening, we're already hearing stories about how Zio is helping athletes get from good to better to best. One of them on here is Jared Shoemaker, who's a U.S. triathlete. The night before he won the U.S. championship, he got his best sleep score. And the sleep score is based on not just total sleep time, but things like how much deep sleep and REM sleep you get. Another guy on here, Sky Christopherson, he was a U.S. team cyclist. And over the last couple of years, he decided to get back into cycling. And he used Zio to discover he wasn't getting as much deep sleep as he should have been getting, and used that data combined with analytics to discover what the problem was, find a solution, and then went on, and he will attribute this, if you were to ask him. Zio is a big part of helping him break the world record in the 200-meter velodrome in cycling. There are lots of people out there who are talking about, you get names like Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps talking about the importance of sleep. For a lot of people, sleep is going to be that thing that goes alongside of diet and exercise that will really transform performance. Sleep is going to be the next big thing that people will analyze to improve their game. So left some time for questions here. Thank you.
There's a lot of sleep companies out there now. What makes you unique?
Yeah, so there are two things. One, from the measurement side, we are a scientifically validated sleep measurement system that actually gets information from the brain about REM sleep and deep sleep, which are vital for recovery. We have a top-notch scientific advisory board that we've developed the technology with, alongside developing what solutions we should be providing to people. So we're not just the measurement side, we're also the data, analytics, and context, and then the people that will find you the right solution, whether it's from the larger scale, working with teams and organizations and pointing them to folks like Edge 10 and saying, we can integrate into that dashboard, you might want to check these guys out, or it's from the smaller scale consumer saying, hey, it looks like you're having trouble falling asleep at night, you might want to try out this relaxation solution, or try out these earplugs which would keep out the noise. So we're bridging that gap and making the connections.
Who specifically are you selling to within the organization? I mean, who's going to be your advocate?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Who are you specifically selling to? Who's the buyer?
Sure. So we're a consumer-oriented company. So first is direct to consumers. We're available in some larger scale places. We're talking to a few organizations specifically in the sports arena, but I can't say specifically who.
Do you have a buyer persona?
We have 3 frustrated sleeper, performance optimizers, and health achievers. But yes.
So now
I wanted to see how he was going to answer it. That's what I was looking at.
We are running a little bit late, so I'll wrap this up real fast. We're going to tally up the votes, and we will announce the winner at tomorrow's first annual Alpha Awards. So please text your votes to the number that was displayed at the bottom of the slides, 37048. Text vote and the company name, and we'll announce it tomorrow at the Alpha Awards. Big round of applause to our companies and the judges. Thank you so much.